Welcome to the Avert podcast, where we talk with some of the most creative people within North Texas and beyond. I'm your host, Michael Gibson Jr. This episode's guest is Nicholas Muthersbaugh. Together, we made a short film called Alora, where Nick served as the co-writer, co-producer, and the director. Nick, in 2 years, has garnered over 10 top media awards, including being a 3-time Emmy winner for his work in local media. The film Alora is his second short film, the first of which is Look, Feel, Touch, Adore, a thriller that can be found on indieflix.com and Vimeo. Our film Alora has been selected into the 2019 Denton Black Film Festival and is currently up for 2 awards, Best Short and Best Texas Short. The story is about a single mother who's training as a NASA astronaut to potentially go and visit a new planet that has been discovered within the Goldilocks Zone of a star. The conflict arises in that she has to make a choice between going on the mission of a lifetime versus the love of her daughter that she would potentially have to leave behind. The film stars 3 incredible women we were blessed to work with: Maddie Lee, Lauren Brizendine, and Nicole Fancher. It's an amazing story about love, choices, female empowerment. I could just go on, but I hope you can come check it out. The world premiere is on Saturday, January 26, 2019 at 6:15 p.m. at the Campus Theater in Denton, Texas. We'll have a link at www.avertyoureyespod.com so you can see the trailer we released as well as get tickets to the screening. During this episode, Nick and I discuss the film Alora, filmmaking in general, working in television, and so much more on episode 40 of the Avert podcast. Consider yourself warned.
Nice cup of joe. Look at me producing this already. It's never too late for coffee. All right. Cool beans. That's hot.
It's the only way to drink coffee.
Well, I used to work with a guy that actually preferred his coffee cold. And I thought he was pretty weird, and come to find out he was way weird and also not a hard worker. And I resent working with him, but it taught me a lot about who I wanted to be as a coworker and as a functioning human in society. And it wasn't him, because he was just he liked his coffee cold and was a dick and didn't work very hard. So, am I supposed to curse on, or can I curse on these things?
You can do whatever you feel
I
like.
feel like I've listened to a couple and people have.
I leave it up to the folks.
Well, you know me. Every other word. So I'll come close to something interesting that the kids can hear one day.
But then what about, like, there's been, like, that kick of people putting butter in their coffee recently.
Oh, that's been around forever. I used to do that for a while. I haven't done that in a long time. I don't know what made me start or what made me stop, but I stopped doing it. I don't know.
It just seems like...
Have you tried it?
I've never tried it. I just can't bring myself to it. I mean, like, I understand the idea that it all comes from cows, and it's all, fat from cows, basically, but I just can't get over it.
You can't get over putting it's just a buttery taste in your coffee. I've talked to Nada about this. I don't know how many times. She always happens to come in right when I would be putting butter in my coffee, and she's like, "I still can't believe you do that." I'm like, well, I mean, it doesn't affect the coffee too much. Just slight buttery coffee after that. It's pretty good though.
How do you take your coffee?
Black.
Like your producers.
My producers. Yeah, just straight black. I don't put now I don't put anything in it. I've never put sugar or creamer in it. I just started drinking coffee like how long ago was that? It was like 2014, 2015. This was the first time, so I mean just in the past 4 years. Within the past 4 years.
I remember
I've become a fiend.
I remember the first time that I had coffee. It was after my brothers were born. So I was about 9 years old. And it was real late when, my dad took us to the hospital to go see them and my mom. And they had given my mother like the hospital dinner thing, and she had the coffee thing there, and I was like, what's that? And they were like, that's coffee. I was like, well, can I have some? And they were like, no, you shouldn't. And then I was like, please, and they were like, they finally broke down and gave it to me because they didn't want to because it was so late. And,
right.
But that was remember that was my first taste of coffee.
How long would that have been? You were like, what, 7?
I was 9.
9?
Yeah.
Shit.
You great listening.
Well, it didn't smash your growth any.
No.
So that myth's out the window. You tall ass. Nice. Well, welcome to the world of coffee.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, said the guy that just started 4 years ago. Yeah, that's fine. It's delicious. What have you found is like your go-to? Do you have like, like there's the Arabica or whatever. There's all kinds of like the Sumatra. You got all this other, and then you got like the Folgers, Happiness in a Cup or whatever the hell their jingle is.
If I was to get something just from the store because I can't get what I want here, I'm good with just a good old Folgers. If I'm out and about, like picking up a Starbucks, my go-to there is like the white chocolate mocha. Yeah, I'm a milkshake guy, but they say if you want like real coffee, because we're from Jamaica, there's Blue Mountain Coffee is the brand, which is grown from the Blue Mountain out there, and that's some really good stuff.
That reminds me of something I just had in San Francisco. I can't remember. I think it's a blue cup, so I don't know if it's like Blue Drip or something like that, but it's like one of those slow drip coffee places. It's so good. So good. I'm not like a connoisseur by any means. Like coffee, like I just drink it because it makes me feel good, and that's about it. So, I wouldn't know what to tell you what kind of coffee it was, but it was fantastic. It came in like it was like it was a blue cup as their logo, and that's all I can remember. And it's in like in the pier, in San Francisco, and it was fantastic. But otherwise, I'm like you, I'm just give me black coffee at Starbucks or something, or I can't do Works coffee anymore. It's just, it's rough. And then everyone, no one puts the damn, they don't tell you when it's made or what it is. It's just like a guess.
Russian roulette of
it's a
coffee.
Russian roulette of coffee. And you're just like, I don't want to play this game because there's hazelnut in there and I don't like that shit. Or there's like s'mores, which are making me crazy, or some other crazy coffee flavor that doesn't even make sense. And you're just like, you get it and it's like pumpkin spice, and you're like, oh shit, I'm allergic to pumpkin. I can't be having this. Even though it's probably like artificially flavored or whatever, but still.
You're really allergic to pumpkin?
No, I'm just into the Russian roulette bullshit. Mm-hmm. I'm just not a fan of it. But anyway, coffee. Oh, speaking of milkshakes, I haven't had a milkshake in like years. Have you ever had a milkshake in the past couple months?
No, but like I was just like reminiscing the other day about I remember when my dad used to take us when we were out and about, to this place. I don't even know. I'm sure they're still around, but this place called, TCBY, today's the country's best yogurt or whatever. It was a frozen yogurt place. And I was like, my girlfriend's got kids, and I was like, maybe I should take them, out there to, have some.
Yeah. How'd that work?
No, I haven't yet. But I haven't had that for ages. I just had ice cream the other day for the first time in years.
Oh.
But no, as far as milkshakes go, no, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a true milkshake or a smoothie, but I remember when we used to go back to Jamaica, there was this restaurant called the Pelican that we used to go to. And they'd order all this food for us, and then for all the kids, they would get us these milkshakes, and they were so amazing.
Yeah.
Back then, but
I used to smash on milkshakes like it was going out of style. It's partially why I was probably a chubby kid. starting out before I got into soccer and everything. Yeah, but milkshakes were life. And then the little tater tots from this place called Amigos, and it's just a faux taco shop. It was like Tex-Mex to the max. So it was just the grossest tacos and quesadillas and all that, taco salad crap and everything like that. It wasn't really authentic Mexican that I would prefer now, but back then they had these little tater tots, and we'd go get milkshakes, chocolate milkshake, and a tater tot. Like, we rode our bikes down this trail to specifically just to get A, away from the house and away from mom and dad, and then B, to ride bikes and hopefully pick up girls, because there's a lot of girls riding bikes just randomly out on the streets and stuff, apparently. And then, this was like 7th grade, 7th, 8th grade, 6th grade, something like that. And then we'd stop at Amigos and get the milkshake and tater tots and then a shitload of spicy taco sauce, and you put that all over the potatoes and, of course, eat them with your hands, not with a fork or anything, but just like shovel them in your face hole. Just nom, 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 nom. And it was the best thing ever. That's like one of the single greatest memories I have of my childhood. It's just going to Amigos like every day. What's the summer?
What's your earliest memory of childhood?
My earliest memory, funny enough, is movie. It's my parents took me to, of all things, a 3-year-old to Jurassic Park when it came out. And so I was 3 years old, and I remember getting I don't remember much of I don't think I remember the movie at all. If I did, I'd be making it up. But I do remember getting my leg caught in the folding seat because I was not acclimated to folding seats yet as a child. So, like, that didn't work out for me, and I tried to get up and out, and, like, one leg was stuck in there, and I was screaming, and they had to, like, get me out or whatever. And everyone's probably looking around like, who the fuck brought their kid to Jurassic Park? This is not for kids. This is an adult movie. And, I'm the same way. Like, why bring kids to a theater, especially if it's not, like, a kid's movie? Like, that just pisses me off. So I feel for them back in the day. But I do remember going there. That's what I saw. So I must have been good the rest of the time, because if that was the only issue, then I must have just been, like, locked in on the movie.
I remember seeing Jurassic Park in the theater. We had a next door neighbor who, didn't have any kids, so she would sometimes adopt me, one of my brothers and a friend of ours, and I distinctly remember she took us to the Dollar Theater to see Jurassic Park, and I was just like, this is amazing.
Right. Yeah. I just bought it, digitally, actually. I already have it. I have it on DVD. I have all 3 on DVD, but I just bought it, digitally, like, I think 2 days ago, because my sister gave me movie credits on iTunes for Christmas, and so I just, like, I worked it, like, it was so serendipitous that I get a movie card for Christmas, and that same week, iTunes is hosting, like, the classics you must have or some, like, thing for $4.99. So I got all these movies for, like, Gangs of New York for $4.99, There Will Be Blood for $4.99, Jurassic Park, I think I got, what else did I get? God, I got a couple other ones, but, like, this $25 gift card went such a long way because I got lucky with this $4.99 thing, so I can't remember if I pull it up. I don't think The Big Lebowski was part of it, but I've been watching a lot of that anyway. But anyway, off topic.
That was a movie that I wasn't, like, I watched it. It was all right, but, like, it was one of those, when I was in college, it was a big, like, cult, following film. And I was just like, it was all right. There are people that are just like, they love Big Lebowski.
I'm one of those people. I just got introduced to it. I think I saw it a long time ago, and it was just kind of, like, boring at the time. But it's funny when you go back and try movies again now. Like, especially if it'd been, like, 5-10 years, and you're just like, you know what? Because when I first saw There Will Be Blood, I was like, God, this is fucking boring. Like, it was, like, 2007 when it actually came out, and I was a high schooler, and I was a senior in high school, so that wasn't a movie for me at the time. But now I own it, digitally and on DVD, and it's my top 5 movies, for sure. Like, it's probably the number 1 movie.
Well, what rounds out your top 5 films?
That's an unfair question. That's it. I'm going to say There Will Be Blood, in no particular order. There Will Be Blood. Let's see. Probably 2001. The Shining. Saving Private Ryan and Braveheart. I think that's 5.
Yeah.
But I could go for, like, top 25. To be honest. And that would change, if you ask me, that would change, like, every other, like, day. Like, those are probably the ones that stay up there the longest and the most, but yeah, I'm trying to think of it. Like American Beauty would be in there. If you had like an extrapolated top 5, like if you like could compare, okay, well, top 5 dramas would be this, and this, like that. That'd be a fair question. More fair question.
Yeah, I'd probably, for me, my top 5 would be, in no particular order, The Godfather.
Yeah, see, that's up there. Which one? All 3? Or
I'm one that, like, you would have to do all 3, although, like, take 3 with a grain of salt, because it was done as a whole story arc. So I take the whole trilogy as a whole, even though 1 and 2 were just phenomenal. But just the ending of 3 when, I don't want to spoil things, but when you see him do that silent scream, I was there, man. I felt it.
Yeah, I have that sitting here if you want to watch it later. All 3 of them.
Yeah, I have them. I have the box set. Let me see. The Godfather, Fight Club would be up there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Would you say Godfather, Fight Club? Did you say anything?
No, so I'm still thinking. I think The Departed would be up there. I don't know if that would be like all time, but just the pacing and the flow and then the surprises that happen in there. It was just great storytelling all around.
Ooh. I would do a top 5 like nostalgic. Like Jurassic Park would be in there, and Braveheart would be in that grouping, just because I have specific memories associated with those. Yeah, The Departed's really good. Yeah, I have that too. All the movies you mentioned, I have.
It's been a while since I've sat down and like watched a bunch of movies because I've just been so busy like working and then creating our thing and then trying to work on writing, some other stuff myself. I haven't had a lot of time to sit there and watch stuff.
Well, at least you're not some like weird purist where it's like, no, it's got to be Citizen Kane and
Citizen Kane would probably be up there. Just
Akira Kurosawa.
Oh my God, I could go on and on about.
I was gonna say, where's Rashomon? Seven Samurai or something's got to be in there.
Seven Samurai would definitely be up there. It would definitely be in my top 5.
Isn't that where what's his face got that Killstroke thing from, or is that a different movie?
I don't.
Last Jedi, where they did the red, where he slid and showed the red thing, or was that just like a homage to Japanese cinema in general?
You know what? I'm not quite sure, to be honest.
I feel like they did something in that, but I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Seven Samurai,
Yeah, Seven Samurai.
That was such a great movie, and that was one of those things that like I know that when I was going to film school, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that when they're going to film school, they're, all pretentious and they think, oh, I have like all the ideas and stuff. But then like a film in film school that really surprised me was The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which was this silent, black and white German film. It was, kind of psychological horror. And, but I was just like, I don't know what it was, but I had this like, mentality where it's like, I guess the people in olden times, they didn't have, very compelling storytelling. But then when I saw that and then you see the flip at the end and you're just like, oh my God, that movie's like so much deeper. Like that shook me to the core.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, so, it just opened my mind to like older films and just older works and stuff. And I think that's why a lot of people and, Hollywood in particular reaches back and ends up doing remakes of some of the older stuff.
I'm just glad they don't like I can't watch, there's few like old movies I can watch, like, with the exception of like, Citizen Kane is actually pretty good. Like I was really reticent about watching that, when I came around to it, I was like, no, it's black and white, and it's going to be stupid and gross, and I'm not going to like it. And they probably got the movie voice, which was like rampant for like so long. Now you listen here, it's like the whole Humphrey Bogart type of talking, like, but I've found some that have worked, and there's a lot of titles that, like people are like swear by, and it's like supposed to be like the amazing film, the film of all films that like started, a whole new wave of something. And I'm just like, this movie, no, like I don't enjoy this movie. Like I can see why it's gotten the accolades it's gotten, or that it's received, but it's like,
it just doesn't hold up.
It just doesn't hold up for me. And I'm just like, ugh. But, then you think about, well, the time period that it was made and, the equipment available and stuff like that. And then if you want to get even further into like, well, I wonder what kind of budget they had and yada, yada, yada. So it's like, okay, so that was the best for that time. It's really hard to go back and really, really enjoy old movies now because of all the just crazy, like you can do a whole scene in a computer now.
Yeah.
Like, and so like there's not going to be any error unless on the part of, the director or whatever, just choosing the wrong path for something. But otherwise it's just like you can get like this perfect thing. And it's just like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Or like, I can't, and I don't say beautiful as in like, oh, that's the way all movies should be and are going. But I think like, cause I hate overly CGI stuff, I've talked to you.
Absolutely. I'm exactly the same way. I think CGI should be like
a supplement.
Not the seasoning and not, the base to the meal.
The main dish.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people use it as such. It's like, look at me, and it shouldn't be something that like, if you notice it, then you've used it wrong.
Yeah. And you can, it's like one of the only things that can reveal its hand. Like if you run out of funding, like it's very apparent that, oh shit, they didn't have enough money to properly complete this, because then all of a sudden Iron Man's looking a little, pixely and, Pac-Man-ish, but like, I can't remember what movie. I think it was, not the latest Transformers, but the first one Mark Wahlberg was in. Like the dinosaurs running down the hill just looked so shitty.
I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
There's dinosaurs in that.
I couldn't bring myself to watch that one. I saw like the first two. I saw up until the
Age
one
of Extinction. That's what it was. Because that's why they had dinosaurs in there. I was like, God, that's so cliche, but okay.
I saw up until the one where they had Patrick Dempsey in it. And his acting was just so over the top. Like he was supposed to be like
that was. Oh,
no,
that was the third one. Patrick Dempsey?
Yeah.
He was in there?
Yeah.
You mean,
Derek from Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like...
the original trilogy.
His acting was just so heavy-handed. I was just like, okay.
He was trying too hard to be a bad guy.
Yeah. I was just like, that pulled me out. But as far as like, going back to like the old movies and stuff, I've been trying, like my girlfriend hasn't, she's got 4 kids. And so I've been slowly trying to like bring them up to speed on stuff. And so I was like, okay, let's have a family movie night and we'll watch Little Shop of Horror. And like the oldest was out, so I had the younger 3. And I think the youngest was like 9 at the time. And he's a boy so it was the boy and the 2 girls. And so we started, and it's an amazing musical, based off the play. And so like the opening theme comes on, Little Shop of Horror. And we get to that horror, and the youngest, he's autistic. He jumps up and goes, nope. And we're like, we're all looking at him and we're like, what's wrong? He's like, you heard it, Little Shop of Horror. It's scary. I'm out. And he went to his room. I'm like, no, it's not scary. He's like, no, peace. I'm out. But the girls loved it.
But isn't that the name of the That's the name of the movie.
Yeah, that's the name of the movie.
Didn't you, when you sat him down, like, we're going to watch a Little Shop of Horror, and you didn't blink an eye then, but then
I guess not.
He just didn't like the singing. He's like, nope, I'm out.
I'm like,
it's musical.
Yeah, they're singing it. It's not like, creepy and whatnot.
No, you can still sing creepily. I want to drink your blood. I don't know. Anyway, that wasn't creepy. That was just bad. Leave me alone. Anyway.
Are there any bad movies that are just like a guilty pleasure of yours to watch?
Bad movies that are a guilty pleasure of mine to watch. No, I'm kind of a snob.
Really?
I tend to lean towards drama a lot, and like good drama. Like I guess the only like guilty pleasures might be like a rom-com or something, or like just a not smart comedy, like maybe The Breakup with Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. Like I've watched that too many times to count, and I used to own it. I mean, that was like, I guess that was a guilty, it wasn't a bad movie, but it was just kind of like, it was guilty. Like Four Christmases was on recently, so I watched that. I guess any Vince Vaughn movie is not like a great movie, but like a guilty pleasure. I kind of like those. Now that I think about it.
But with Vince Vaughn, like, I love him. If you let him ad-lib in a movie, then it's going to be a good movie. Yeah. But if you lock him down to that script, you can tell he's tied down.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't feel right.
Right. Yeah. No, he's so good just ad-libbing everything. I'd love to be on a set with that guy.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious just to, like, see what he comes up with and how and, just kind of, like, play off of that. That'd be interesting. I just watched, speaking of ad-libbing, so Adam McKay does a lot. That director, he did Step Brothers and Talladega Nights.
Yes,
and all that.
yes. That was going to be. I was going to ask you about him, and because I know we saw the Sisters Brothers with.
But he wasn't in that. I mean, he wasn't.
He didn't do that, but that was. I forgot the director on that. He's right there.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. There's another John C. Reilly film, but then Sherlock and Holmes came out. It's been getting like dogged abysmally.
Really? I haven't been paying attention. Well, I mean, how can you expect that movie to be like
a Citizen Kane?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be. They're the best at that screwball, stupid slapstick type comedy. Like it's gonna be. That's what it's going to be. And you're just going to be like annoyed by how stupid it is, but it's funny. Like you just got to go into it. Like people have such high standards for everything nowadays. I know. It's like beyond, like it's not even about a movie going experience anymore. About just having an experience. It's about, well, how much did it make at the box office and how many people went and saw it and what did the reviews say and all that bullshit. And it's just like, just go because you want to go. Just like, like how many, like there's a $5 Tuesdays now. Like just go spend $5. What's $5 anymore? You were complaining about $5 back when it was $4 or, $6, $5 or whatever. And now you're complaining.
But that's like a gallon of gas now.
Yeah, but now you're complaining about it being like $11.50 or something or not an IMAX or whatever it is. It's just like, just go. There's no excuse really. Like, I mean, you can even buy things like straight off on demand, like right as soon as they come out. Like some things, it's like, just go see it because you want to see it. Don't worry about what other people are saying or thinking. It's annoying. And definitely don't wait until it comes out on DVD and all that bullshit. Like, there's some things you gotta go see in a theater. Like, I'll go see anything Paul Thomas Anderson does in a theater immediately, or Tarantino. I've only actually seen a Tarantino movie once in theater. I only ever saw it. I saw Hateful Eight. It was the first Tarantino movie I saw in the theater, which is sad. Very, very sad. I didn't get like super into him until I don't know, like 2013, 14, right after Inglourious Bastards, and I didn't go see that in the theater. And I'm kicking myself to this day for that.
I saw that one on DVD. First one I saw in theaters of his was I saw both of the Kill Bills. In theaters.
That would be cool. They gotta have some sort of like anniversary screener or something around here. Speaking of screeners, don't we get screeners? How come I'm never getting like any like free movies and we work for frickin' NBC Universal Pictures? damn it, I want screeners. We're in Dallas. It's not like we're in a small, Dallas Fort Worth. We're not in like a small market. Like, we should be getting screeners. I know this is in New York, but like, am I wrong? Like, don't we, like, I just went to one, but it was only because the LGBTQ community, like, like our community in the office, like, had to like twist arms to get a screener for, something boy. I forget what it is.
Oh, I forgot what that movie was.
And I went to see that. It was a good movie. And I was like, shit, how come we don't get more of these? It's fantastic. And it's like, companies do that. Like, there's other companies there. And I was just confused. I'm like, we work for Universal. I mean, we should be getting these screeners. Like, every Universal movie. And there's some good ones out there.
There are. I don't know what the politics and all of that are. I'm sure there's a lot of politics that go on behind that, and then
or the DVDs. Like I have a friend that like works for like some like top. I think it might be top 60. It might not be. I don't know. It might be in there. I don't remember. But like she works for God, what is it? ABC, and like an ABC affiliate. And she gets screeners. They get like DVDs. And I'm like, what the hell is good? I'm in a top 5 market. I can't even get a damn DVD. What is this? Who's hoarding the DVDs? I'm going after Dirk. Dirk's got to know. But I need to get me some screeners. Because I'd rather. Because like I enjoy that shit. Like both of us. We should be getting those. But anyway, I digress.
But you were talking about that, the director for,
Adam McKay.
Yes, Adam McKay.
Like, all of his, I just bought The Big Short. That was the other one. The Big Short with some of my sister's Christmas gifts. And that was about the 2008 market crash, or the home, shit, what am I trying to say? The
housing market crash.
Housing market crash, yeah. And I was watching all the behind the scenes, and he just like lets his people go. He's just like, here's the idea, this is where we're going, now go play. And he like will insert like little things here and there and get him on a new tangent or whatever. But he just kind of, but I'd love to be on a set like that because I'm so like rigid. I'm not so rigid. I'm just like really well prepared so that I have the possibility of having some free, like, okay, I know we got this. Now we can have some fun and do whatever. Or, like I know where I want to be. And so however they choose to get there, I can be open to that. But so I'm pretty well planned. But anyway, Adam McKay. So I was watching that, and then I saw Vice this past weekend.
How was that?
It was pretty good. It seemed to be like his movies are like jump back and forth, and they'll like tell you something, they'll tell you something later, and then they'll call back to what they told you, and then some things are like just chronologically, like he skips around a lot, so it's like sometimes can be tough to follow, but like that's right up my alley, and I think I do a lot of that. Strangely, but it's a little bit more compact and less all over the place. But he had a lot of subject matter to cover with Dick Cheney. So,
yeah,
like a lot of he like. This is no spoiler, but it's just like it covers like 3 parts of his life. So like younger, middle, and then the end.
I mean, he's still alive.
But the end of his political career. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I mean, not his presidency, but him being in office.
Well, might as well have been. Because, I mean, that's what
everybody jokes about.
That's what it depicts.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the way it's, like, if any of it's true, like, it's fantastic that he used such a power behind the throne. But anyway, that was my Adam McKay thing. Just being on that, coming from Vince Vaughn, that whole ad-lib stuff.
What was it that kind of drew you into filmmaking? And just working in media in general?
Nothing drew me into media really other than the need for a job. Probably going to be looking to vacate the media sector here soon-ish. Not soon, but, within the next couple of years. But filmmaking, I mean, I did it as a kid, so I think what definitely got me thinking about it, not thinking about it, but Jurassic Park was, I think, like a thing subconsciously.
Right.
That got put there. Like, I just loved movies as a kid. Like, I posted that thing on Instagram where I had Five Goes West, Batman, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, and one other one that was just like on repeat in my house forever. Like VHS, and just, I'd watch them day in, day out, whenever I was bored, whenever I didn't have anything to do. If I wasn't outside playing, I was watching a movie for sure. So I think Jurassic Park, and then my dad took me to Gladiator, which would be in my top 5 as well. Or top 90 now, I guess. Gladiator, he took me that when I was 11 years old. I think that was kind of like where it started breaking the subconscious level into the like conscious, like, ooh, I really like, I started noticing things like, ooh, I like the way that shot happened, or like the way it was graded. What specifically stood out about Gladiator that subconsciously probably started pushing me into what I'm doing is like that scene where that time lapse scene where like the clouds all go, and he, like, it's right after he faints or is like just exhausted, and he finds his wife and kid murdered by the Caesar, and he passes out, and he gets picked up by this traveling slaves or whatever, and that whole like sequence of him like floating over rocks and everything. I was like, that is so freaking cool. Like, that's an awesome shot. How do they do that? And I think that kind of rolled into what I do, but or in wanting to make films. But I think I knew I really wanted to do it after The Dark Knight, and I had the tools at my disposal, because like in college I went to school for graphic design, so I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And I don't know how I got there, really. I mean, I do, but it's just a weird sequence of events. But I saw Dark Knight, and I was just like, yep. And I was in college at the time for graphic design, and they were teaching video every other Friday for half a semester. So I got like 8 classes, something like that, on video, if that. And so like it wasn't in depth by any means, and I didn't pursue it directly afterwards. But I was just like, that's cool. I could do something with that one day or something like that. But backtracking a little bit, me and my friends started imitating Jackass when we were young, like 13, 14, 15. We called it WTH, what the hell. And that was our way to just like get together and do something stupid and creative. And like, I mean, we put poop on a dollar and cleared the whole area within like a 20-foot vicinity.
It wasn't human poop.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just kidding. It was dog poop. We went around finding dogs. So that explains kind of like the weirdness that we had as a group. Like, we went around and found dog poop and picked it up with a stick, and then put like a $20 bill, I think, down, and then cleared the whole area of sticks. So people had to like literally pick it up with their hands, or, and we smeared it on there a little bit. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, it's just a dried piece that, blah, blah, blah. Don't get sick. It was funny. And then we'd like scurry off and like hide and film it from afar. So we had one of those like, those high 8 cameras that like zoomed really far or whatever. And I mean, it got super grainy and pixelated after a certain amount of zooming, but it was so much fun. But we did that, and then like I tried writing scripts, and I think that's where it really clicked. Was I would write these, like, have you seen Scary Movie? Like any of the scary movies where they make fun of other scary movies and other movies?
Yes.
So I started writing things like that, and then I started just imitating other movies that I liked. Like, I wrote Secret Window. I wrote literally like hand in hand would be the same movie, but with different character names and a slightly different like plot and everything like that. But so like I would write these scripts, and I actually still have some. They're sitting over here. I still have a couple of them that were written when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old, and like just poorly. Like, I did not know how to write a script, so it was just like, it was in Word, and it was just like these long paragraphs of like described action, and then like an underlined name with colon, and then it would just be like whatever they were supposed to be saying, and then all the way down the page. So it was kind of formatted, but it just wasn't formatted the script way. So it's still kind of there, but so like I think that's what really clicked for me but it wasn't even like a full click. It was like I was gearing up to snap my finger and like, oh yeah, it clicks. And then Dark Knight was like the sending me into orbit. I tried to do a short film that fell through, and then the company I went to do graphic design for, Complete Nutrition, they wanted me to, after like a year of being there, they're like, okay, we have this new plan. We want everyone in each department to own something. So the president like called me and was obviously like, okay, so what are you going to own? I was like, so my friends used to imitate Jackass as a kid. And he's like, video. Great. You're going to do video. And I was like, don't know anything about video, but all right. Sounds good. So I ended up doing video, and the first 5 videos were just shit. Like I wish I had some of them so I could play them, but I think they all got deleted off YouTube, and I don't have any of them. There might be some hard drive somewhere back in Omaha, Nebraska that has a bunch of those, but it was gross. It was just like stuff, really well designed graphic cards that I would just put still on there, and then gradually over time, I learned editing, and I learned Premiere Pro. I learned on Final Cut. I learned on Final Cut Pro, and then transitioned to Premiere, and someone had to teach me After Effects. I was very lucky to have this kid that worked at one of the big firms in Lincoln, Arch Rival. They do a lot of youth marketing, but youth brand marketing. But there was a kid there that I got in contact with someone from Complete Nutrition, and he taught me After Effects, just how to use your handles on a point and all kinds of other stuff. So it was all self-taught. I just learned as I went. Now I get to be lucky enough to have a couple Emmys and do it for a living rather than graphic design, which I'm still pretty damn good at. So if anybody needs any graphic design, I'm able to do that, because as you know, as a creative, there's not just one thing you're really good at. There's 19 different things you want to be really good at and that you want to try, that you want to do. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into wanting to do film. I don't know if I'm doing so well on that yet, but I've got the commercial world pretty well figured out.
You got the commercial world figured out, and then we just completed we just got accepted into the Denton Black Film Festival.
Woo!
For one that we did together, but before that, you had another one that you had completed.
Oh yeah,
was out there.
I didn't submit it to any festivals or anything. I don't know why. I think that was just another one that got away and just kind of took too long to finish, and then by the end of it, it was just oh, it's not in the year or, whatever that most film festivals want you to have
the cycle,
the cycle completed in or whatever. And it's just crap. But, that one is probably the closest thing to, that was a passion project for sure. And it was a miracle that it got done, because there was literally no budget. I just paid for everything out of my pocket, and there wasn't much. I can't say too much, otherwise it gives it away. But it was a lot of fun. It was a learning experience, and it really cemented, I want to do movies. Definitely want to do movies and on a larger scale, and work with actors and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, that one was, I don't remember my log line for that at all, but something like a woman who thinks the world of her husband, finds out his secret hobby or something like that, and then it just goes from there. So it's really, it was a fun one, and it kind of stemmed right after I saw, it's either Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, or I went and saw, while I was writing it, I went and saw Gone Girl. So I think there's a little bit of that kind of in it.
Both of those movies were intense.
yeah. But it's heavily David Fincher influenced, I think. But anyway. Have you seen it? Did I ever show it to you?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think of it?
I liked it. It was very good.
Don't lie to me just because we're on.
Okay, I thought it was a POS. No.
There's some truth in every lie. Or whatever.
Yeah, there's a kernel of truth in every joke.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I mean.
No. I thought it was good. It was a very interesting premise, and he had some really beautiful, interesting shots in it.
Yeah.
Too, so
I like to think so. For no budget and I didn't have any, I had nothing. I don't even remember how I got a dolly shot in one of those. It must have been in post or something, because I don't know. Because we didn't have a dolly. So, to get it done. So, and I mean, it was on a Panasonic GH4, which is, less than appetizing, but I mean, I got some good stuff out of it, so.
Yeah.
It was, I got it done. That was the most important part.
Exactly. Like, that's one thing is getting started and then B, getting stuff done.
Right. Yeah.
There's lots of people that
I'd say that's harder. I think starting is easy. I think starting, not easy, but it's a whole lot easier than finishing something. I think I'm a really good starter, but then getting things finished is difficult with me, because there's always something else. There's always we could redo that part, or we could do this or whatever. Funny enough, it's never on commercials. Like commercials, I'm ready to get them done. I know what I want. I go in there, I get it. We put it together. It's let's tweak a few things. Maybe we don't follow the script exactly, but then boom, here you go. Here's this spot, and everyone's yeah, this is great, or fix that, and then we're like, okay, we're done, and then it's on to the next thing. And it's it's incredibly easy. But as soon as it's something that's near and dear to my heart,
right,
then it's shit, I'm fucked, because I'm never gonna let this go.
Now, I guess focusing on the project that we worked on together,
yes,
we both wrote it, but what was kind of your, I guess, inspiration for the story that we ended up doing, that you ended up directing? What was it that you were trying to elicit?
Well, definitely a sense of, be happy with what you have when you have it. That kind of, what's that?
That noise. They're doing construction nearby, if you could hear that.
Yeah, they're building a Virgin hotel right next to my apartment, so you can come check that out anytime next year. And I'll be waving at you while you're looking down on me. No, a sense of, never waste the time you have with people that are precious to you. And then I just wanted, I don't know, I do a lot of these unhappy things. I don't know if does that make me unhappy? I don't know. But it has a weird twist of happy or unhappy or something to it all the time. And that's, I don't know. I think, because I love that drama world, so I'm always interested in a dramatic piece. I don't know. And the other inspiration was just getting something done for this film festival that we found out about a week before, 2 weeks before it was, due. And we were like, oh yeah, we could do a short film in that time frame. No. You can't. I mean, you can. There's obviously the 48-hour film festivals, and crazy how people get those done.
Which I would love to do one. I was talking with with another coworker.
You cheat on me with other coworkers? Who's this?
Peter Hall.
Oh yeah, Peter.
Yeah.
Derp? Yeah, of course. Not the Peters of Derp. Me forgetting that there was another film fanatic there.
Yeah, but oh my gosh, the things that people do in just the short amount of time that they do it, I'm just, it blows my mind that people get stuff, written, shot, completed. Here you go.
Right.
In such a short amount of time. I try to tend to lean on the perfectionist side of things, but, sometimes in our work, sometimes done is good.
Enough.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
It is good enough.
Yeah.
So.
Or saying it's good enough means it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a sad truth.
It is. But I think what I was wanting to convey, just the love of, the love of love, the love of dreams.
The weird counterbalance of hope and loss and
pursuit of each.
I guess you don't pursue loss, but
I mean the pursuit
of hope and love and
and all that.
I mean, the other thing was, definitely love. I tend to write a lot of characters that have no. I have a father figure, but like for some reason,
Are you trying to convey that I don't?
No. But just when I write, like there's always some like strong mother or somebody bond, like mother daughter, mother father. I mean, not mother father, mother son, that kind of stuff. So like something, just like a child familial bond. Because I have a strong family at home, and I was raised by like all the women in the family, like my aunt, my mom, my grandma, both grandmas really, my other aunt. So like, yeah, it was like 4 women that like looked after me most of my upbringing. So I tend to write a lot of strong female characters.
Which is something that like, they always say that like, it's hard for men to write strong female characters. So I'm really glad that we were able to, tell a story from that sort of side.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no dialogue, so so we didn't really have to get inside the head too much of a woman. So that was a little bit easier, I think. But I mean, it's a very simple story. So just getting the right feeling and facial expressions and everything out of the actors was the fun part.
You mean actresses?
Do they want to be called actresses?
I
thought everybody wanted just to be an actor. Yeah, and then you're going up against a man or a woman in award season or whatever. Like, I'm all for that. Like, I don't think there should be any. I don't think there needs to be separation, but I don't know. Not my call, not my judgment. So
now, when it came to working on this piece, do you have like a moment or a story or a like a moment or a story about working with each of the actors in the film?
You mean actresses?
Actresses.
Yeah, I mean that one scene where I had to make mom cry was pretty, I pulled that direction out of my ass. I don't know where I got that idea from, but that's one good memory I have with Lauren. And then one with, I think everything with Maddie. I mean, like, she's just a little firecracker.
Yeah, she is.
Whippersnapper. Like, she's just, they all like kind of bleed together because there's so many like hilarious little moments. But the one thing just jumps out at me now is making her cry, even though that particular shot isn't in the film, which was that one where I tilted down from the ceiling and came on her, and she was supposed to get like the tear right there.
Yeah,
like, it was amazing. Like all the tears in this are real. Like, we didn't put any like Visine or anything in anybody's eyes and make them like hold it there and then tilt their head down and blink or something. Like, it was all real emotions, raw and everything, which was really cool. And I'm excited that we were able to get that out of them. But for whatever reason, we just couldn't make that one shot work in the whole deal. Or I wanted to match cut something or whatever, and we ended up doing something different. But just how quickly my memory of her. And yet again, all these are just sad memories. Maybe there's just a sadness in me that needed to come out in this movie. I don't know. But just like how good she was at just getting there so quickly. Like other people, I feel like you did. We also didn't do too many takes, which was nice.
Yeah.
But like other people, I feel like crying on command or crying on camera is just a difficult thing for them to do. And like I've tried doing it. You got all kinds of things you're worried about, and you're like, well, how do I look when I'm crying? Am I ugly as shit? Well, everybody's ugly as shit when they cry, but it's like it's kind of difficult. It's even difficult to be serious sometimes, like, because you're, especially for like new actors, and she was fairly new to. I don't think she'd been in a short film yet, so it was just fun to kind of see how good she was and be like privy to that kind of talent. It was pretty sweet. So that's what I remember. How about you? Anything in particular?
Yeah, like I loved I remember being behind the camera. I was in the kitchen scene where you were trying to elicit this, and I wish we had put more dialogue in the movie, because you end up having, the shots on the mother, but it was a two shot of the mother and the daughter, and you had the daughter,
Alora,
little Alora saying the stuff to her mom to get this reaction out of her. But then like she turns and she says this thing, and like her parents and the people that we were borrowing their house were back in the living room, and we're in the kitchen, in the dining room doing the scene, and you directed little Laura to say this thing, and just like the hairs on my arms just like, raised. I got goosebumps. Like, I'm crying behind the camera. I think the mom even broke down crying, and like everybody in the living room, her parents and everybody was trying to choke back tears.
Yeah.
It was such an intense, moment. It was so good.
And then we didn't even have a damn close up on it.
I know.
And you can really tell that she's like, just almost bawling.
I know.
Oh man, there's so many things that went wrong. So many things that went right, but then so many things that just were like a thorn in our side.
Yeah, because we were working around. We were supposed to have 2 cameras during that scene, but the lens broke.
Yeah, that's right. We only had 2 lenses for some odd reason, and one of the lenses, the focus ring, got overextended or something. Yeah, and we couldn't fix it on the fly, so we had to just do without and do one camera. So we were one camera set up the whole time and racing against time.
Yeah,
which is always fun, I guess.
Which is always, that's one of those things about, producing, and the whole idea behind guerrilla filmmaking practically is like, you gotta run and gun and problem solve, right? In the moment. So I think just overall that particular day of shooting is always going to stick out in my head for those good moments and also for those bad moments like that.
Hand in hand. Hand in hand they go. Skipping down the street.
Which is also funny because like I've always come from like this, I'm always looking for the funny and stuff, and I love to laugh and make other people laugh, and this was another reason why I wanted to make this movie was, I wanted to do something more serious, something a little bit more heartfelt, and not really kick you in the gut, but elicit some other emotions out of people.
Gut wrenching instead of gut busting.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this has been a very real departure from some of the stuff that people tend to know me personally from before. Yeah. So yeah, always working to try to not necessarily reinvent myself, but just stretch and.
Well, was it good? Was it something that you want to do again, or was it just like I want to stay in comedy or something a little bit lighter?
No, I mean I would like to eventually go back and try to do some more comedy, but but it seems like dramas tend to be easier to do because comedy is so subjective. Case in point, the Sherlock and Holmes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Holmes and Watson.
Holmes and Watson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, Holmes and Watson.
Sherlock and Holmes, that's the same guy.
Yeah, Holmes and Watson, pardon me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but what's next for you?
Next, in terms of project, like work related or non-work related. What's next for me? That's kind of in limbo. We're kind of waiting to see what you have written or finished or whatever it is. And I'm working on something that I think is a short film, but is probably waltzing more into like a short feature at the moment. So, or has the legs for like a whole feature, but I think definitely I could shoot it short form and, get some money together for it and do that and then maybe use it as a proof of concept for something larger down the road or whatever. But it's kind of a like a Texas modern Western, almost like a, kind of feels like it's moving into like a Coen brother Western world or something like that. But I don't know, just like a not necessarily a Western either. It just feels Western because it's definitely Texas. It's definitely cowboy-esque. There's some cowboy characters in there that are quite entertaining, if I do say so myself. And it's a departure from the last two I've done because there's actual dialogue in this. Like, I've written a whole bunch of dialogue now, so we'll have to see if I'm any good at directing actors that way. Because we know I can do, like, hey, get them to make whatever kind of face I'm looking for, or, like, elicit some sort of emotion visually, but now can I do it orally?
Right.
So I don't know, we'll see. But that's kind of what I want to do next. But, all kinds of interests, photography and writing, and I'm working on, that's the one I want to make for sure. But, I have like 3 or 4 other scripts that I'm constantly revolving around finishing and getting further with. So all kinds of stuff going on. How about you? Still working on the...
Yeah, I've narrowed it down. I'm constantly spinning plates and juggling, and it's always hard for me to sort of, focus down to one thing. So I'm kind of working on 2. One's definitely a short. Kind of don't want to give too much of that one away.
So the one we've talked about at length? Or is
it? That's probably the other one, which would be, I probably want to do that. The more that I'm working on it, the more it's turning into like a short feature. Almost. Maybe I could do that one as a proof of concept, and try to raise some funds to do it bigger, more as a feature. But that one, the longer one, is, and I wish I had the idea for several years, and in light of the climate that we're in now with recent news events, I think it's very top of mind, where it has to deal with a little bit of the migrant situation. People coming over from Mexico and stuff. So, but that would be one part of the story, and then it morphs into something else. But it's a story that I've had for a long time, and I've wanted to tell, and I think definitely now would be definitely the time to get it done.
this the longer one?
Yeah, that's the longer one.
Yeah. Sweetness. So which one are you gonna do?
I'm working on writing both. Okay. The short and the short feature.
Which one is looking better to be done first? That I can either produce or act in or something of some nature. Or direct if I were so lucky. I don't know, because I've always wanted to direct somebody else's work, because I've never directed somebody else's script before, which is kind of strange, I feel like.
Well, I feel the short one would probably be one that I'd be willing to let somebody else take a stab at directing, but I think I definitely would want to try my hand at directing the other one.
I'm not trying to steal work.
No,
I was just saying, like, it's always, I've been looking for that project to, like, say, hey, I want to direct this, but it's so hard to find. It's like you either have the people that are working in the industry or the people that are, like, not quite there. And I'm not trying to say that I'm any leap forward in any capacity, like I'm some, I don't know, magician or anything, but there's just, it feels like you just read some crap content and you have to like doctor it a lot, or there's just like the people that are actually working. There's no like a good in between that I found yet in Dallas Fort Worth, but I mean that could, I mean I just haven't looked hard either.
Yeah, it's probably more of that because I've met some people and I've read some things. I almost did another project, but due to some situations that happened, ended up not working on that project. But there were some people. There was a project that I read a couple of years ago where a guy was doing he had a stage play, and so I got invited to see this staged reading of this play, and I saw it and I was like, that's not a play. I see it as a movie.
Oh yeah.
You cut these two scenes out, tweak these two things, and it's a movie. Yeah. And, we ended up having to, go our separate ways. I'm not sure if he's working on anything else, but that guy was such a solid writer. I would be curious to see what else he's got, in the future. So there are some interesting folks if you keep your eyes peeled.
Well, I figured. I haven't really been able to look around at the things that do come across my plate, like just on Facebook or something. Just kind of just not always duds or anything like that, but it's just kind of like it always feels like it's like the first thing somebody wants to make when they're in film school, right? Like some sort of either like epiphany piece or like their pièce de la résistance or whatever. I should not try French, but whatever it is, and it's just like, well, you're trying too hard, or it's just not quite there, or whatever it is. And it's always like, or it's like the slasher flick. Everybody wants to make some sort of like horror that's already been made, or some sort of zombie thing, or like technology's out to kill us, or whatever. And it's like, God, that's been done. Like, show me something interesting with that, something that hasn't been done. Like, it may have the same premise, but do it a different way.
Right.
I don't know. But I haven't been looking very hard, and haven't gotten into those circles. I need to do more of that.
Well, we've hit pretty much an hour, so I guess we'll kind of wrap up here. But do you tend to have like a motto or advice that you live by?
A bunch of them. I'll just start rattling them off. Actually, I guess, if I can remember them all. One is, the answer is always no until you ask. That's one that I've lived heavily. A lot of things haven't happened for me, or have happened for me just by asking. So I definitely recommend, even if it feels like a long shot, just ask. You don't know. Like, we did a promo at NBC, and I was like, it'd be great to have Mark Cuban in this. And I just called and asked. Like, I got his agent or his assistant's number from our sports director, and just called and asked. I was like, hey, here's the idea. We just want to feature you in a promo. Yeah, we're not going to pay you. That's it. Yes or no. And it got Mark Cuban in a promo. Got to work with Mark Cuban. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, the star of Sharknado. Or such shows as Shark Tank. But, yeah, I mean, the answer is always no until you ask. Another one would be, people aren't against you, they're for themselves. And I think if you look at the world, yeah, that's a very fantastic way to kind of see it. Because I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, something's not working out for me, everyone's against me. It's like, no, not necessarily. Maybe some people are, but I think more often than not, people are just for themselves. So they don't care about the flak, the shrapnel. It's just they got a one-track mind, and they're out to get theirs. So, which is understandable. I think we all are a little bit, some more than others. But, and then probably I won't go too many more. I think just to wrap it up and be the last one, if you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. So if that's getting outside your comfort zone, if that's, changing a way of life, if that's, eating something different, that is going to help you in your health or something, just however, any way you want to apply it, I think it's just a great piece of advice. It's just, you're not going to, doing the same thing over and over is not going to change the outcome. I think that's another phrase that I could probably throw in there as well. I'm not sure what that one is exactly, but yeah, so probably those three are the big three that really shaped my career and how I've gotten where I've gotten.
How do you define happiness?
How do I define happiness?
That would be the question.
Oh, I know. I'm doing the polite interview thing and repeating the question in my answer. I define happiness as doing something that you couldn't possibly see yourself living without. And that's whether it's work, whether it's an activity, whether it's a hobby, I don't know, whatever it is. But it's just something that makes you feel alive and makes you feel, like you can't help but smile when you think about it or while you're doing it or whatever. And it could be just the strangest, like golfing. It could just be golfing, like, shit, man, if I could just golf all day, that'd be great. But I think writing and or making movies in some fashion is my idea of happiness, because that just brings great joy. And I'm like, pacing around here, just trying to like get the best one line of dialogue. It's like, been working on one line of dialogue for 30 minutes, and it's just like, he's got to do this, but underneath he's got to do that. And I love getting drilled down into the reading between the lines and like the meaning behind everything and everything like that. So I think just, happiness is something you can't live without. It's whatever activity or whatever it is, just something that makes you smile every day, which is, I don't know if that's just like the same as saying another name for happiness. Just smiling a lot. I don't know. Yeah, that's my definition.
What has filmmaking taught you?
Filmmaking has taught me how to deal with different types of people. That's probably one of the major things. Just finding ways to, and it sounds terrible, but finding ways to manipulate different people into getting what you want has been a huge learning curve, and not a huge one, I guess. Not that I'm like really good at manipulating people or anything like that, but just like it's been a fun journey because everyone's different and their pressure points are all different. So like figuring out what you want out of them and then how to get it, and being able to do that on the fly too, because commercial work, you don't get time to rehearse. You don't get, that time to learn the person and, get to know them and see what could be a trigger, what might not be, all that fun stuff. So that, and then, to trust your gut. A lot of my work, early work, definitely could be second guessed, or, I find myself always being like, right before shoot day, like, is this right? Like, should we even be doing this? Should I go back and rewrite the script again, like for the 50th time? Or, have I cast the right people? Like all that fun stuff. So I think just trusting your gut, like your gut knows, like if it's really going to be that bad, you're going to know, like, and if it's really, if it's good, you're always going to have that healthy, second guess period. But I think it's just important that you pick that person for a reason. You pick that subject matter for a reason. You picked, the words you put down for a reason. Like you're good. Just go and make the thing. And if it's not what you intended it to be, the beautiful thing is you have tomorrow. You can redo it, or you can go make a new thing where it is more what you want it to be. So it's like, and that's the beauty of filmmaking, is just you're always learning. There's never like, aha, I've got it every time. Because I don't know how many behind the scenes things I've watched, but it's always like the director or the producers saying like, we had no fucking clue, man. We were on the day, we had no idea. And then, it's like, some amazing, just like the making of Godfather or something. They're like, yeah, we had no idea if Don Corleone, if we had casted Marlon Brando, right? Like, then he came with the gauze in his mouth and he started talking like that. And we were like, oh shit, this is pretty good. And then everyone else fucking loved it. So it's like, just trust your gut. Like you probably have taste, and that's going to get you a long ways if you have taste. It's something that can't be taught. You either have it or you don't, I think. I mean, you can have it taught to a certain degree, but it's never going to be like the finer, there's always that top 1%. But.
Yeah, it's like with photography. It's like you can teach somebody, how to use the camera mechanically and stuff, but you can't teach the eye.
Yeah, you can't teach somebody how to frame it up.
Right.
All the time, every time, perfectly. And I mean, you can teach the rule of thirds, but there's just that extra something where it's just like, I'm going to choose to go this way just because of the setting I'm in and the way this person's talking to me or not talking or ignoring me or whatever. And it's just like, I'm going to do this instead. It's that thing. That last gut instinct where you're just like, right before you click the shutter or right before you say action, and you change it just slightly. And it's just like, that's it. That's the thing. Yeah. It's a split second.
Yeah. How do you define success, Mr. Emmy winner?
3-time Emmy winner. How do I define success? Winning 3 fucking Emmys. No, how do I define success? Going back to one of your first couple questions, are you happy? I think success is subjective. Success to one person could be monetary. Success to another person could be being happy with what they're doing, and they're only making $20,000 a year. Maybe they're a greeter at Walmart or something. I used to work at Walmart. I was happy there for a little while. And then I found this other thing that I really wanted to do, so I went off and I did that. But because I worked in the photo department, developing people's pictures and being around camera and being around cameras and being around semi-creative people, because we'd have like some professional photographers come through and stuff like that. So I don't know how professional they were if they're getting developed at Walmart, but I think success is subjective and defined by happiness of it, and that's how I define it. Is am I happy doing what I'm doing? Then I think I'm successful. So I do think I'm successful because I am happy.
And then 2 final questions. What advice would you give to somebody that's wanting to pursue a career in media and film?
The advice I'd give to somebody wanting to pursue a career in media and film would be 2 things. Ask, because again, the answer is always no till you do. So if that's, hey, can I sit by you and learn this? Can I get you to be in my short film? Can I borrow this computer to write something? Can I print this for free? Anything. Just ask the damn question, and you'll be surprised at the answer most of the time. And then number 2. What was number 2? It literally just flew out of my mind.
Just the film and media in general.
No, I know the question. What was my number 2 answer? Shit, it's not going to be the right one. This is not what I had in mind, but just go do it. I mean, because we all have 4K cameras in our pocket now. Yeah. So there's no reason that you're not getting something made. Like, you don't have to have some fancy gear. You don't have to have world-renowned scriptwriter on it. It's just go make your stuff. Who knows what people are going to like and what they're going to hate. You can't let that put you in a case of fear, and then that stops you from acting, and not acting in the film sense. But so I think, just go make whatever it is you can make. Especially now, like everyone's starting their own damn label. Like Amazon, Netflix, HBO has it, Showtime, freaking Walmart's coming out with their own streaming network. Like, it's like, there's never been a time where more content is needed more frequently and quicker than there is now. It may be with the exception of 2 years from now. It's like, just go write it. Go put it in front of somebody and ask, do you like this? Again, those 2 kind of like bleed into each other. See, I'm so amazing. I can like make my answers kind of intertwine, and they lead back to, we've come full circle. Full circle.
And then last question, what would you tell your younger self?
Quit being a lazy little bitch, I think. I don't know, I think a lot of my younger self was bottled up with, a little bit of a fear or what people might think of what I wanted to do, and I don't know, just you gotta get out there and just do it, because you never know what people are gonna like, and people don't know. People don't know what it's like to be creative and to have the need to go create things, and they don't consider it real work and stuff like that. So just quit being a lazy little bitch and get shit done. That's what I tell my younger self, for sure.
Nicholas Muthersbaugh, thank you very much for sitting down.
Hey, Michael Gibson Jr., thank you for sitting down with me and driving all the way to Dallas, and good luck on the short film and the festival.
Good luck to you as well, sir.
Right. Okay, let's go get some lunch. I'm hungry. I'm starving. All right, let's do this.
That's the podcast. Thank you again to Nick Muthersbaugh for hanging out. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram and Vimeo by searching Nicholas Muthersbaugh, and that's NicholasMuthersbaugh. And don't forget to pick up tickets to the screening of Alora at the 2019 Denton Black Film Festival. We'd love to see you out there, meet the cast, and come say hi. Keep up with the Avert Your Eyes podcast or check out past episodes by visiting our website, avertyoureyespod.com. There you'll find everything you need to subscribe to the podcast with links to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, and so much more. Go to www.avertyoureyespod.com. And don't forget to leave a comment or review. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Michael Gibson Jr., and until next time on the Avert Your Eyes podcast, consider yourself warned.